of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call for the acceptance of the minutes of the April 13th meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Call for the acceptance of the minutes of the April 21st special meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Public forum? No one for public forum, and we will move on to presentations. Before I begin with the presentations, just some housekeeping due to COVID regulations. If you feel uncomfortable, you do not have to come around and fist pump anybody, but if you want to, you can walk around on in the inside with your mask on, and you can fist pump the board members and administrators. It is not necessary. It's all up to how you feel comfortable. Due to the large crowd, we ask that you keep your mask on while you're in your seats, and that you do not shake hands, but fist pumping is allowed. So thank you. We'll turn it over to, and there is sanitizer here. Turn it over to Mr. Carl Pabon.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. First of all, congratulations to our Section 9 champions. Let's give a round of applause. At this time, we also have intellectual athletes, and it's my honor and pleasure. I'm going to ask Sarah Stevens and Ethan Alexander to please come up. You know, you're fortunate to be associated with young adults that are not only academically inclined to take studying and learning seriously, but also are good human beings. To have that pairing together, it's an amazing combination. Not only have they impacted our school in a positive manner, I know for a fact, and I'm sure everyone here that knows these two young adults, that wherever they decide to go, they will have a positive influence. So at this time, it is my pleasure of presenting to you Ethan Alexander, salutatorian for the class of 2021. And also a round of applause for the valedictorian, Sarah Stevens. Have a good evening. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Pabon, and again, congratulations to our valedictorian and our salutatorian. Your hard work and perseverance has paid off, and we wish you well in your futures. Now I'll call up to the podium our athletic director, Mr. Kermit Moyer, for presentations.
Good evening, everyone, and on behalf of the President of the Board, Mr. Matrician, and Superintendent Wiles, I thank you for allowing us to come here this evening. Ethan and Sarah, if you would come back up here, please. I'm going to briefly reintroduce you again. Back in the fall, I spoke to both Sarah and Ethan for their interest in applying for a New York State Athletic Administrators and our National Association scholarship. They were both very willing, and you took advantage of the opportunity right from the onset. With our national organization, there's 2 or 3 different levels of this contest, and the first is the chapter, and we're a member of Chapter 9 or Section 9. And at this time, I'm very proud to share that both Ethan and Sarah were our Chapter 9 recipients and winners of this award, which moved them on to the state level. Moving past that, I'm very proud to continue to talk a little bit more about Sarah. Sarah is our New York State champion. And she received the plaque, which I'm going to talk about here in a little bit, as well as a $250 scholarship. Once you're a state winner, you move on to what we call the sectional level. And across our National Organization for Athletic Administrators, there's 8 sections across the country. We're in the Northeast section, Section 1, and just a couple of weeks ago, I was notified that Sarah is the Section 1 winner. And that's just a fantastic accomplishment. Sarah is now going to be one of 8 applications that are going to be reviewed for the national award. And Sarah will know whether or not Sarah is the winner of that come mid-June. So again, congratulations to both. And as part of their presentations tonight, I've asked them to read their essays that they submitted on behalf of their application process. And I'm going to start that process off with Ethan. Ethan, would you come up, please, and share your essay?
This was titled, How High School Athletics Has Impacted My Life. Upon completion of any high school sports season, one can say without a doubt that athletics are much more than just the game that one plays on the field. High school athletics have taught me a plethora of things, including the importance of dedication, how to manage my time, and the value of hard work. They've also had an impact on my life through the memories I've made and the connections I've created with my peers. Participating in a sport while also in school requires an extreme amount of dedication to the team. Extracurriculars demand extra time and effort on behalf of those involved. In order for the team to succeed, its members have to devote themselves to the group for at least the season, but usually year-round. When the members do not dedicate themselves, the team fails to live up to its potential. This lesson carries into other parts of my life, such as my education. I have to completely focus my attention on an activity if I want to succeed. High school athletics have also taught me how to manage my time. Between my classes, sports, and homework, there's not any time to waste. I've learned to make efficient use of my time that I have in order to achieve all that I need to get done in an average day. Athletics have also taught me how to successfully complete this balancing act, all while maintaining my status on the high honor roll. Most importantly, high school sports have shown me the value of hard work, whether it be through the hours of sweating in football practice to the freezing temperature that January brings in indoor track and field. I've learned that the success that one enjoys from being part of a team is directly proportional to the amount of work that they put into the sport. This also translates into my everyday life. When I apply myself to the best of my abilities, I'm confident that I'll get returns on this investment. Athletics have also had a profound impact on my life, aside from the lessons it has taught me. During the 2019 fall football season, for example, our team went on to compete at the state level for 8-man football. This exciting experience is not soon to be forgotten. It is an accomplishment that is only available to me as a result of the high school program. Sports have also connected me to my peers. Those who are on a team for long periods of time become a close-knit group. I can count multiple friendships that only occurred as a result of participating in a sport. Finally, I'm able to enjoy the rich tradition of high school sports that go back many generations. Putting on that jersey connects me with many people from the school's past. Through my participation in high school athletics, I have learned many life lessons, created long-lasting friendships, and connected with the alumni of my school. Sports in high school developed me socially, mentally, and obviously physically. I would not be the same person I am today without participating in athletics. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ethan. Very well written essay. And again, he was the boy representative from Chapter 9. Next, before I bring up Sarah, I'd like to share. This is the plaque that Sarah has received. That will she'll get one, and we'll get a replica to put in the trophy case. So it says the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association proudly recognizes Sarah Stevens, Ellenville High School, the state of New York, as a state winner of the 2021 Student Athlete Scholarship Program. Your essay, which documents how high school athletics have enhanced your educational experiences, was selected as the best entry from your state. We salute you and thank you for helping our organization illustrate the many ways that athletics positively influences the lives of student athletes. Sarah, if you would come up, please.
Thank you. So I'm going to read my essay titled An Unexpected Passion. But on my phone, I didn't put it out. But I am not what you would call a natural athlete. While my siblings ran around our driveway engaged in a variety of competitive games, I could be found in the solitary shade of our large maple tree, reading some fantastical story, or drawing elaborate chalk murals on the sidewalk. However, I would later fall in love with sports, but they never necessarily complemented my health concerns, whether that was being an asthmatic runner and soccer player with circulatory issues, or a swimmer with problematic shoulders and a chlorine sensitivity. But these challenges, coupled with a lack of athletic inclination, is what allowed sports to truly enrich my life. High school athletics improved my work ethic and confidence, provided a dependable community, and inspired me to share this passion with others. Track and soccer opened my eyes to the power of hard work and pushed me to give my all in every aspect of life. I understood that there would always be more naturally talented athletes, but I was in control of my effort and strove to work my hardest. This idea was reinforced when my progress was overtly tangible. I was overwhelmed with elation every time I executed a move during a game that I had practiced 100 times in training, and watching my race times drop as I set personal records made me feel like I could tackle the world. When I was tired and sore, with one more set or conditioning drill between me and cooldown, I felt that pride and drive again. It pushed me through the ends of practice and the last laps of many races. But beyond that, it crept back when I was up late studying for exams or speaking in front of an entire auditorium. Athletics proved the potential I held if willing to work for it, and gave me the confidence to pursue this potential. The relationships I developed with team members and coaches reached far beyond practices, games, or events. Ellenville Athletics was a close-knit community that supported me and fostered deep connections with my peers. The girls I stood next to at the start of the 3,000-meter race and stretched with before each game also gave heartfelt advice and warm embrace when the world felt hopeless. My coaches supported me at every meet and game, as well as my concerts and musicals. This community was filled with role models both on and off the field. Star varsity players were also authors of published papers in our college English class, and often spent their weekends participating in charity walks or volunteering on the Ellenville Rescue Squad. This newly found athletic family supported me while making a lasting positive impact on my plans and goals, both athletic and personal. Lastly, athletics left me with a desire to give back. I want to share the support and positivity that I experienced and inspire subsequent generations. During high school, I sought out opportunities to help teach younger athletes, whether that was helping with the modified futsal program, refereeing at a Jacobs, or starting and instructing some lessons at our local summer camp. When a child's face lights up with a smile after mastering a concept, I am brought back to my very first practices. High school athletics motivated me to be more involved and pass on my love for sports, while also bringing me fulfillment through mentorship. Though I was never meant to be an Olympian, I am extremely grateful for my career in high school sports. Each season taught me valuable lessons and brightened my life with experiences I would not have known without our athletic programs. High school athletics helped me reach my full potential and feel the satisfaction and pride of hard work paying off. Know the comfort and support of the athletic community and experience the fulfillment of sharing this passion and mentoring those younger than me. I honestly believe I will carry these experiences throughout life and look back upon them when in need of guidance. Thank you.
So again, for their efforts, they're also receiving certificates, and to Superintendent Wiles, if they want to shake bump. So do you want them to walk down through the middle here or walk around? Okay, all right, hold on one second, guys.
You can come right in there and, yeah.
Congratulations, Sarah. Ethan, congratulations.
Good job.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, our next commendation is for our varsity boys soccer team. Guys, we have most of you here. We're very proud of you. It's the first time in school history that we've won a sectional soccer championship, which is outstanding. Before we get started, though, at this time, I would like to invite Mr. Mead up. Mr. Mead, would you please come to the podium? So Mr. Mead's going to speak a little bit on behalf of the team. Again, guys, on our behalf, as your athletic director, it was certainly fun to watch you. It was a great season. You certainly made the high level of commitment, and you did what you needed to do to be successful. This time, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Mead to speak on behalf of the team. And then, Mr. Mead, what we'll do is I'll go that way. I'll let you introduce the guys and bring them up here, and then I'll hand them their certificates. Is that fair enough? Mr. Mead.
So I'll just start out by thanking everyone and just kind of give you a little backstory. As I'm sure you're aware, a week before the season started, it was still up in the air if we were going to have athletic teams here in Ellenville. And I just knew from the number of seniors that we had on our team this year and the number of seniors that we had playing other sports as well, how important it was for us to get our kids back out and start returning to some sort of feeling of normalcy. So I want to first start by thanking our board for making that vote and giving our kids that opportunity, because it meant so much to them, to their coaches, and to our community. So thank you for that. I also want to thank Mr. Moyer and Miss Orr, because the athletic office has been working so hard this entire season. We had our schedule was changing almost daily. One team is on a pause for quarantine. Well, who can we call? Let's find another game. And at the end of the season, I went back and looked at how many games. We played 15 games this past season. We played more soccer games than any other school in Section 9. And it was mainly because we had Mr. Moyer and Mrs. Orr just constantly on the phone, and I'm texting coaches, and we all just worked together to make it happen. And the other teams that had 10 plus games, they all had turf fields. So we were the only school that didn't have a turf field and still was able to make it work. So I do appreciate all the support that we had from the board, from the superintendent, right on down to the athletic office. So that brings us to this team. We had a tremendous team. We had a group of guys, our junior year, or their junior year, which would have been last season. It really, I'm kind of looking at that team a couple of years ago and saying, this team's going to be good. We're going to be good 2 years in a row, 3 years in a row. We're going to be able to really get some momentum going. And then we had a few injuries. We had some unfortunate other circumstances surrounding our team, and we kind of fell a little bit short. We lost to Liberty, who we were able to come back and beat in the final last month. And we just kind of knew, looking at their roster, looking at our roster, and kind of following all the other teams, that it's going to be us and Liberty. Let's make sure we get there. So we have our season, and things are going pretty well. And we play a tough schedule. And Liberty's over on the other side, beating teams 8-0, 9-0, 10-0, 7-0. And I'm just kind of looking at them, and they're saying, oh, you see what Liberty did? You see? Guys, don't worry. We're okay. We're okay. We're a good team. We qualify. We make it in the semifinal game. We're playing Marlboro. And I've coached a lot of good soccer teams here in the last 15 years. Some other teams that probably had a real shout to be playing in a sectional championship. And we just always seem to come up short. And it was that semifinal game that we just could not get over that hump. I mean, we had 5 heartbreaking losses in a row, 5 seasons in a row where we lost in that game, twice in overtime, twice in penalty kicks. It was just everything, it just never went our way. So before that Marlboro game, I was beyond nervous, because if you've ever coached high schoolers, you can do everything in your power to make sure they're ready, but one of them has an issue with a girlfriend or a parent or a teacher or something else leading up to the game that day. Who knows what's going to happen? And we've just always had these things happen, and we show up, and sure enough, 3 minutes into the game, we're down 1-0. But when you have 9 seniors on your team, they all just kind of looked around and said, all right, let's go. And turned it around pretty quick. We had a senior score a hat trick in that game. And here we are going to the final. So we're on the bus next day. And I just told the team, I said, listen, in the history of Ellenville soccer, all right, when I started here, I started looking back. I said, I gotta learn a little bit about the history of this program. Back in 2006, 2007, when we first qualified for sectionals, that was the first time we'd even made the sectional tournament since 1991. I went all the way back to 1978, and there was nothing. We had won one game in the postseason. So I went back even further. I got permission from Mr. Napoli and from Ms. Kozlowski. We went down in the records room, traced it all the way back to the 1930s. Now, they didn't play sectionals back then, but the soccer tradition and history of winning at this school was scant. So to even get to a sectional game in a season that we almost didn't have was a remarkable feat in itself. And then we have this group of guys on the bus, and I said, listen, you are, on paper, the best team in the history of this school. Let that sink in. All right? Before the championship game, I wasn't nervous because we had never been there before. For me, it was winning that section, the semifinal game. So I think that really helped with their mindset, and Liberty was good. And they were up 1-0. They scored early. And we just held on. We got to halftime, and we said, listen, we know what we have to do. And again, it was senior leadership that stepped up. We had a senior score the first goal, and then of all people, and this is when you know you've got a special team, it's a freshman. It's a freshman that scores the game-winning goal to clinch it, whose father played at this school and never had the opportunity to play in the postseason. And he was just as happy as the players to watch his son score that goal and to see his high school celebrate that championship. And for me, someone said, what's the best part? And for me, you know, when I'm looking up the history of this school and this program, and I kind of put it in my head, we're winning a sectional title. We're going to win at least one before I'm done here. And I thought it was going to be like vindication for me. I thought that was going to be the best feeling, like finally you reached your goal. And then we actually won, and I'm out on the field with these boys, and you see what it means to them and the range of emotions and how important of a moment this was for their life, to recognize the amount of work that's gone into winning a championship. It didn't start back in March for us. It started back in 6th grade. For some of these guys, 5th grade, when they wouldn't take no for an answer. When I told them, you know, we're kind of full with our indoor soccer program, and I got Gavin still bringing me his paperwork and saying, I'm coming, just let me come, I'll help, I'll do this. And I've got pictures of these kids in 6th grade at our soccer tournaments, and it's the kids you see here. It's not 1 or 2 that played all the way through. It's 8 or 9 or 10, or in this case, 15, 18, 20 of these kids started in 6th grade and dedicated their time. But to see how powerful athletics can be in bringing a community together and bringing a group of people together for a common goal, it's just a reminder for us that how important, whether you like soccer or not, how important it is to have these opportunities for our kids, especially in a year like this. So again, from the bottom of my heart, for just giving us the opportunity to play, thank you. And for the first time ever, we're going to have a soccer championship in the trophy cases in Ellenville.
Before you go forward, what was missing in anything you said was, and I have to say this, Mr. Mead, your dedication to this program over the years and your commitment to see students through from the 6th grade, I I'd wager to bet we wouldn't be here without your commitment to our students and this program and our school. So while we all appreciate the thanks to make very difficult decisions, I really have to say thank you for all of your commitment and your hard work over the years. It has not gone unnoticed, and it is very much appreciated.
All right, at this time, guys, Mr. Mead's going to call your name out. We're going to go in grade order, starting with freshmen, ending with seniors, and I'll meet you up here in the corner, and then you'll have a chance to also get some things from the Booster Club, I believe, right?
Yeah, I'm going to have Mrs. Little just speak on that for a minute.
Yep.
So the Elmville Booster Club would also like to congratulate you guys on your section championship. There's goodie bags over there and candy bars for you guys. We weren't able to do too much during the season like we had in the past, and we want to apologize, but we definitely want to know you have been recognized, and we're very proud of you.
Great, thank you. Okay, Mr. Mead.
Okay, 6 freshmen on the team. John Gattaca. Stefan Gattaca. Silas Millis. Carlos Rayban. Kevin Rayban. Matthew Urquia. Juniors, Kevin Gattaca. Matthew Helgeson. Tanvarul Islam. Tyler Lamandola. Alex Pauly. Jack Ryan. Alex Schweck. And our seniors, Captain Gavin Baxter. Karshar Biswaz. Marlon Cabrera. Brandon Gonzalez. Brandon Guba. Noah Hemstreet. Nerman Ibrick. Christopher Leone. Fernando Silva.
So the last thing I want to do is to also give certificates to our coaches. Mr. Augustine, our volunteer assistant. Mr. Augustine, would you come up, please? And again, assistant coaches are very valuable to the whole process, and Mr. Augustine's been a valued assistant. Mr. Augustine, come on over. I'll give you a certificate. And again, another congratulations to Mr. Mead for his outstanding leadership of this program. Congratulations to the boys and to Mr. Mead on our school's first sectional soccer title.
There you go. One more. Awesome. Congrats, guys.
Okay, and again, a special, thank you to the Board of Ed and Superintendent Wiles for having us this evening and having these commendations for our fine student athletes. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Very nice.
What's that? We'd like to thank the coaches and Mr. Moyer, the athletic director, and a special thank you to the soccer team and congratulations. You've made Ellenville proud at a time when we had a pandemic year and lots of sadness in the world. You brought a smile to the faces of Ellenville, and we're proud of you, and we thank you for that. So congratulations, boys soccer. One little humorous story. So they won the championship. We get a call at the police department to give them an escort back in with all the bells and whistles. As communication would go, we get a communication to be somewhere else, and we start escorting this bus down into town with all the lights and whistles, and all of a sudden we get a call, "Where are you guys?" So we escorted the wrong bus initially, and that bus driver was very thankful. He was appreciative that he got through town expeditiously. So we did enjoy it, though. Congratulations. You guys do not have to stay for the meeting. Please, I know this would, you definitely can go.
Night. Night.
It's almost to be 52. That bus driver was very
Good job. I can. I'm sure if you dwell on it, you can remember. Like 10 minutes ago.
All right, we'll move on to board reports, information, and correspondence. For myself, I have nothing for this evening. Board membership? Wayne?
Yeah, I just want to congratulate the team, the coach. There's always unsung heroes when it comes to, excellence and building a great team. And there's some people that really help guide these young men on this journey. Rod Castro and Rob Baxter being two I want to mention. Those two individuals have started travel teams, through the town of Walk Hill with our students. And, they go with our students on weekends and, to Margaretville for tournaments, indoor tournaments, in the wintertime. And, so I want to congratulate those two individuals as well as the coaches and the teams, because without them, that's that starting block in the beginning, early years, with Mr. Mead recognizing these students and, just giving them opportunities for more games and showing them, a next level of competition. So again, congratulations to the team and the coaching staff.
Thank you, Wayne. Anybody else? Okay, if not, Superintendent Wiles?
I just have two quick things. Just a reminder, May 19th, Superintendent Conference Day, no students in attendance that day. And the final thing to report out is that we keep getting updated guidance from the New York State Department of Health regarding end-of-year celebrations. I know that the high school is in the process of planning a prom, and more information will be following with regard to the high school graduation. We just want to see if there's any additional guidance that, there's some more things opening up on May 19th, and we're hearing there could be some more changes at the end of May. So I know that Mr. Pabon is working very closely with the group of students, and we're going to try to maximize whatever opportunities we can with regard to our celebrations in accordance with what the regulations are in the, with the pandemic. So More information to follow, hopefully at the next board meeting, but we want to get it right. And we're just trying to find out if there's any other restrictions that'll be lifted that could help us plan for the best graduation possible. That's all I have.
Thank you, Superintendent. Assistant Superintendent for Business, Mr. Napoli.
Thank you. Every 5 years, school districts are required to test our fixtures for lead. This is that year. We just finished the first round of testing. We have the results for the elementary school. A letter will be going out to the community tomorrow. We're required to mail it as well as a posting on our website. There are a couple of fixtures that failed, most likely due to them not being in use. You do have to run the water for a certain period of time, and there's a period of time when you're not supposed to run the water. They did pass the last time, so we've taken them out of service, either bagged them or put up a sign, not potable. Sometimes they're like custodial closets or whatever, but some of them were bubblers or fountains in classrooms. We're going to retest them, and then they should pass, and we'll put them back into service. But I'm required to send a letter out to the community, so the letter will be on the website, and we'll also get emailed to everyone that we have in our school database. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Napoli. Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Mrs. Kelly White.
Good evening. I just wanted to remind the community that the week of June 7th, we'll be doing the spring administration of our Panorama School Climate Survey. There'll be a letter going home shortly just to remind you of the purpose of the survey. It's the survey that our community and our staff took back in November. And we're looking for some growth in specific areas aligned to our district improvement plan. And we'll be just doing ongoing promotions about the survey through social media, a student email and parent email over throughout the month of May, so that when the survey arrives to your inbox on June 7th, you're aware of what it is, and we're hoping to see an increase in participation. Additionally, up for approval for the board tonight, we have 3 new course proposals that were submitted by teachers in the high school. We have a proposal for an art portfolio course for our upper level art students who have an interest in pursuing a college or career pathway in art and need a more formalized portfolio to take with them to college and career. So there's a portfolio from Ms. Rowan Kuntz in your board packet. We also had a proposal from Mr. Brian Fiduk for a web design course offered at a college level through Syracuse University Project, the SUPA program. And then a proposal from Phil Althouse for a course titled The American Experience for People of Color and Women, which will delve into a much deeper level American history associated with African Americans, Native Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, and Muslim Americans and women through a variety of sources, and go into the portrayals of those groups of people and their contributions that are often overshadowed in the general U.S. history and government curriculum. And lastly, just an update on PTAC. At the current time, we have 23 students who have submitted applications. The teachers and the principals have been working really closely with Ulster BOCES to develop really the model of what the school will look like, their values, their aspirations, and the design work. And we will be inviting Mr. Spinelli to a board meeting in June just to give the community and the board an update on where we are.
Jody.
How many students can we take in that program?
I believe the goal was between 20 and 30 students, so we're right where we want to be.
Okay, so it's still, is enrollment still open for students?
I believe the application window closed on Friday.
Okay.
John.
Yes, Ms. White, I saw that you had put in here that the teachers would be trained in the Fontes and Pinnell for the purposes of benchmarks. And I'm always wondering, what do we do after we get the benchmarks and we identify the areas of weakness? How do we go about dealing with that? Because I know there's always a lot of emphasis put on benchmarks.
Mm-hmm. So the data that the teachers get from the benchmark assessments will allow them to provide reading materials that are at that child's reading level, so that they're reading material that's aligned with the standards that they need to meet, but at the level that's appropriate for that student. So from there, the teachers can have things such as guided reading groups and work with small groups of students that are at the same grade level to ensure that they're meeting the ELA standards at material that's suitable for them. From there, we can also make referrals to our AIS reading teachers for additional support as needed.
And off the top of your head here, because you probably don't have the statistic, how have our benchmarks been doing, especially in the lower grades where we all know it's so important to keep the kids on or above grade level?
So the data that we've been tracking this year is our IXL data for reading. And what we're currently seeing, and the data, it's not that it's misleading, it only is reporting for students who are actively engaged in using the program. So at the lower grade levels, we have a high percentage of students that are logging into IXL weekly, working on their diagnostic, and we're getting feedback in terms of how they're performing. Our students at the K, I'd say the K through third grade level are making some great progress towards their goals. And I can show the board at our next meeting. We had set some goals in our district improvement plan in terms of where we wanted to see reading at the end of the year. And many of the grade levels at the elementary school are very close to meeting that goal, if not exceeding it. But the students that are getting on the program and using it are really making some great growth in terms of reading levels and math levels. And at that K1, 2, I believe even third grade level, the students that are using the program are demonstrating that they're on grade level at the moment. We're seeing a drop at the third grade level, and that's data that we're looking at, and we're working with our instructional coaches from BOCES, and with the adoption of a new reading program next year, we're hoping to be able to tackle those gaps.
Great, thank you.
Lisa?
A question about the American Experience class and what grades that will be offered to and how many students will have the opportunity to take it.
So the course will be offered to students that have already completed United States History and Government, or the SUPA class that it's the American History course taught through our Syracuse University project. So the course will be for our seniors. I believe, I haven't seen the master schedule to know how many sections will be offered, but at the current time, it is a full year course. It's not a half year course. I believe Holocaust was a full year course. So it will be a full year course. I just don't have the number of sections, but I can have that information at the next meeting.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wayne?
I was going to wait until we spoke about the motion, but I'll ask now. Usually, we have the person who is proposing the course to answer questions, show us a book, things like that. Are we not doing that because of COVID, or?
No, we don't have any texts. Usually after the course is approved, we'll get the materials. You will adopt any textbooks that come along with it. So we haven't gotten to that spot yet, but we can surely have the, those who develop the course come speak to the board. We just, there's been times where we haven't had that, but I have no problem asking them to see if they could come. If that's what if that's what you'd like to say.
Is that it?
And I'm good. I thought normally the teacher, when the course is proposed, speaks about it a little bit, so
We could have them come. We can ask them to come and talk about
if it's
it.
of time essence, that's fine. It doesn't matter. I mean, I read through their documents that they.
Is it the board's desire to have the teacher come to make a presentation? Teachers?
No.
Iris?
I'd actually be interested in hearing. I'm looking at the 3 courses here, and web design on hold, no room in the master schedule. So is that not going to be happening then right now?
At the current time, again, the master schedule is not 100% finalized, but when I looked at what was already created, I did not see that course. And it's probably because there was, uncertainty whether or not it would be approved or not. Also, additionally, the instructor needs to be approved through Syracuse University, so there's a training component. So it's just a longer process because you have to work with the college as well as to get approved to teach the course. And I believe that Mr. Fiduk may have attended and have gone to some of those workshops in the past year or so, but I can follow up and find out.
I would be interested in hearing what they're planning, and I also know when the textbooks are decided on, we have to approve them, so we'll know, we can take a look at them then. But I think it would be a good idea to hear what they're doing.
Jody, are you in favor?
I'm in favor of it if they want to come when they adapt the textbook, so they don't have
Yeah.
to come twice. Yeah.
Yeah. John?
Yeah, a few years ago, I talked to the board about what some of the school districts across the country that were recognized as some of the top in the entire nation, some of the characteristics that they had. And one was offering extra classes and higher level classes. I know last year we cut a social studies position, we had a retirement, and we're also bringing back the plans through the budget, if that passes, to bring back another social studies teacher. Does that give us the ability to offer more of these types of courses?
That's a tough question, especially with the current incoming, the current freshman class that we have. It's a large bubble. It's a larger class size than we have, and also due to, you know, the impact of COVID, we have a great deal number of students that may be looking at repeating classes next year, if they don't, you know, take advantage of a summer school opportunity. So we're really going to have to look at the end of the year and also midsummer to see what our section numbers look like in terms of expanding our offerings. There is a desire, and it has come up in multiple committees that I'm on, for us to increase our elective offerings, to be, you know, more competitive of, you know, what other area schools offers. So discussions are happening about that. You know, there are some constraints with an 8-period day. So something that, you know, teachers have requested that we go back and look at again is there an opportunity for a 9th-period day to add in more opportunities for electives during the day? So that has come up. We just haven't gotten there in discussions yet, but we're open to discussing it. But
Well, I think if we ask, the 9-period day is significantly more expensive.
It is, and we've struggled with staffing in the very difficult budget years, and also some contractual issues we have that would have to be ironed out for it. But we're surely interested in talking about creating the maximum number of opportunities for our students.
But the other drawback as a small district is, would you hold classes with single-digit numbers? That's always tough.
mhm.
But kudos to the 3 courses that are coming in. I think anything that can enhance our program will make us better. So thank you.
Reverend Collins, you in favor of having them come? Lisa? Okay, I know Wayne is. All right, so we'll bring them when we have the textbooks.
Or the instructional
Yeah,
material.
instructional material. Thank you. All right, anything else, Kelly?
No, that was it.
We'll move on to resolutions for this evening. Under 6.1, upon the recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved that Scott Valano be appointed as substitute security attendant.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor?
I was just going to ask a question. Has Scott retired from his
Yes.
position? Okay.
Yep. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Next, we have several resignations. 6.2, upon the recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved, the resignation of David Trombley, music teacher, be accepted for the purposes of retirement effective June 30th, 2021, with regret.
So moved.
Second.
Moved seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, be resolved that the resignation of Richard Griffith, art teacher, be accepted for the purposes of retirement effective June 30th, 2021, with regret.
So moved.
Moved sec-
Second.
Moved seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved the resignation of Michael O'Connell, science teacher, be accepted for the purposes of retirement effective June 30th, 2021, with regret.
So moved.
Second.
Moved seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of Superintendent of Schools, be it resolved the resignation of Barbara Huffnagel, math teacher, be accepted for the purposes of retirement effective June 30th, 2021, with regret.
So moved.
Second.
Moved seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be resolved the resignation of Carl Garrett, social studies teacher, be accepted for the purposes of retirement effective June 30th, 2021, with regret.
So moved.
Second.
Move seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be resolved that the resignation of Yolanda Osuba, elementary school teacher, be accepted for the purposes of retirement effective June 30th, 2021, with regret.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be it resolved that the resignation of Louise Verdino, elementary school teacher, be accepted for the purposes of retirement effective June 30th, 2021, with regret.
Second.
Moved seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be it resolved the resignation of Cindy Kraft, elementary school teacher, be accepted for the purposes of retirement effective June 30th, 2021, with regret.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be resolved the resignation of Inez McQuillan, teacher assistant, be accepted for the purposes of retirement effective June 30th, 2021, with regret.
So moved.
Second.
Moved seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be resolved that the resignation of Cian Moore, special education teacher, be accepted effective June 30th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one. Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be resolved the resignation of Alan Tibet, registered nurse, be accepted effective July 1st, 2021.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. Mr. Burns?
Yeah, I think that one of the things you look at when you are a small school district and you lose a lot of teachers with this many years' experience, there certainly can be a void that has to be filled, you know. Some of these names, and some of you who have been here longer than me, it seems like just 4 or 5 years ago, they came here and already their career is over. So congratulations to them. But as we have Kelly and Lisa and the rest of the team bringing in new, younger, less experienced, but enthusiastic teachers, I think we have an opportunity to really continue the excellence in education that we're trying to bring here. So, you know, congratulations to the folks. And as us retired teachers like to say, welcome to the club.
We certainly wish them well and thank them for their years of service and dedication to our district and our children. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be resolved that the waiver of tenure for Brian Dawson be... Oh, sorry. I know. Thank you. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries unanimous. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be resolved that the waiver of tenure for Brian Dawson be approved as attached.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be resolved that the memorandum of agreement between the Ellenville Central School District and the ETS RPA Teachers Unit be approved as attached.
Motion to move 614, 615, and 616 on the MOAs.
Moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 6.17, upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, be it resolved that Jolene Younger's request for an unpaid leave of absence for the rest of the 2021 school year be granted.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Education resolutions for this evening. 7.1. Be it
Motion
resolved.
7-1 and 7-2.
Second.
Moved and seconded for 7172. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 7.3, new course proposal. Resolved that the art portfolio new course proposal be approved as attached.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 7.4, resolved that the American Experience for People of Color and Women new course proposal be approved as attached.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Resolved that the SUPA web design new course proposal be approved as attached.
Second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed, no one? Motion carries. Under Other. 8.1, donation. Resolved that the donation from the American Library Association in the amount of $3,000 for the Ellenville High School Library be accepted.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed, no one? Motion carries. 8.2. Excess items for disposal. Resolved that the following equipment be accessed and disposed.
Move the list as presented.
List has been moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 8.3. Resolved that the following equipment be accessed and sold.
So moved.
Second.
List has been moved and seconded. Discussion.
Does that stuff go out to bid?
Yeah.
I mean, to entertain bids for that?
That's correct. What I'll most likely do is post them on a website, Auctions International. That's got a pretty good following of people who like to buy stuff, and we'll try to sell it. You know, we have an obligation to try to get as much money as we can for items that are in working condition. So that's what I'll do, and hopefully by the next board meeting, I'll have some bids on them, and then you'll approve the sale of those items.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Next meeting will be Tuesday after the budget vote. It will be a brief meeting. It will be at 8 p.m., around 8 p.m. We remind everybody to get out and vote. However you choose to vote, just get out there and vote on May 18th, Tuesday, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. right here in the Media Center. Other than that, the next official meeting will be Tuesday, May 25th, 2021. Mark your calendars. Does any board member have anything they want to see on the agenda for the next meeting on the 25th?
I'd like to get information from Mr. Moyer on what we're going to do, because by the end of May or June, we need to have the Hall of Fame decided so that we can start sending out notices and getting everything printed up and done. So I'd like to have something from Mr. Moyer on what he anticipates, either just picking a weekend when we can do it or adding. I know the scheduling is probably crazy with coming out of COVID and everything, hopefully, but if we could get that, that would help a lot.
A date for the Hall of Fame
Correct,
celebration.
thank you.
That will be on your next agenda. Anybody else? Not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Been moved, seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? We're adjourned.